All right, good evening, everyone. The time is now 6:02 p.m. I'm going to stall a little bit while they adjust the microphone. The mic is hot. Okay, are we good now? Testing. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's a lot better. All right, welcome everyone. The time is 6:02 p.m. I will now call this special meeting for training to order. Mrs. Guy, was this meeting properly posted?
Yes, it was.
And do we have a quorum?
We do.
I don't know if that applies tonight or not, but I'm asking anyway. I want to welcome everyone for being here tonight. The format tonight is we will have a team of 8 training followed by a closed session at the end. And with that, I'm ready to jump right into it. Today we have, I have one item. Mrs. Garcia, has anyone signed up to speak for public comment? Okay, let the record show no one has signed up to speak under public comment. Now we'll move on to item number 2, which is Governance Team, Board, and Superintendent Training and Development. With us tonight is Dr. Julian H. Trevino. And I apologize, Mr. Trevino, for messing up your name, but I'll do my best. Julian is a school board governance consultant. He's been on the graduate and postgraduate faculties at the USTA, Trinity University, and Texas A&M University at College Station. Prior to his university positions, he served in public schools as a teacher and central office administrator. Julian attended the executive education program at the Harvard Graduate School of Education. He holds a doctorate in educational administration from Texas A&M University at College Station. Trevino has consulted and trained school boards across the United States. He has worked with some of the largest urban school systems and with small rural school boards, including diverse multicultural student populations. He served on the Board of Trustees for the San Antonio Independent School District for 12 years. 6 of those years, he was school board president. Under his leadership, the board was recognized nationally and statewide for exemplary board governance. Julian has and is serving on many local, state, and national boards, commissions, and organizations. So hopefully with that, you can understand and see why Dr. Rodriguez and I quickly collaborated and thought this is the best person for us at this time. So with that, Mr. Trevino, I want to welcome you, and I'll turn the floor over to you.
Thank you very much for having me. Before we get and I would be lost without Jacob and Kevin doing the technology. I'm a technology idiot. That was the very first question I asked. No, I need, do you have someone that knows how to do that? If not, the deal's off. So with that, I want to thank Jim for that introduction. You read it just like I wrote it. So with that, here's how we want to get started. So we have a lot to do, and hopefully we can get through it. We're supposed to finish by 9 o'clock. Is that correct?
We have goals.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a lot to cover. So in the Marine Corps, there's a rank called Gunny Sergeant. Anyone know the profile of the character of a Gunny Sergeant? No?
Nope.
All right. Eastwood, ring a bell? Think of Clint Eastwood on steroids. You know, really bad. That's a gunny in a good movie. Those guys are okay. So this gunny sergeant retired from the Marine Corps. And he goes to the interview for a position. And sitting across from, and they're going to the long in the thing. They get to the part of, Gunny, what do you consider to be your greatest weakness? And the Gunny says, what do you consider to be your greatest weakness? And the Gunny says, honesty. of the interview says, I don't think that's dangerous. And the guy says, I don't give a what do you think? Well, you can imagine what the money that was. So, honesty was his greatest weakness. So, it's kind of funny, right? But he could have said it a different way. It's so not, he didn't do the job. So, but he was being honest. So it's not so much what you say, it's how you say it. But he couldn't help himself. He was asked a question, and he answered it. So that's his profile. But once you say it, you can't take it back. He could have said, well, sir, I've been told that honesty is what I come across. You very honest and say things. Okay, let's talk about that. When he comes right out and says, I don't care what you think. That's not the way to do it. So, on the flip side of that, I'm going to be very honest with you. This is what I tell you. Now, you're going to see some things in print, and where do these come from? Well, I've been doing this for a while, and fortunately, everything that you do when it's read is public record, right? So I take things that I hear and things in print that sound pretty good, and I tell the school district, with your permission, I'm going to use these that give you credit. Right? So a lot of these things you're going to see are gathered and they collected from school systems that I've worked with that are very good. So you're not very honest when you are at your commitments. They're excellent. They are excellent. So I told a couple, already, well, you stick to that. You don't need me. You just stick to those things, and you're doing well. I see that you were Texas Army Board not too long ago. But you have some excellent commitments. You say there that you will. That is a commitment. That you will do this. If you use the word can, that's a belief. For example, if I tell you, I believe I can run a marathon, well, that's my belief. Now, what's lacking here is a commitment, right? I commit to start training and running 5 miles a week, and then I'm going to run the next one. That's your commitments. You have some commitments, and your beliefs going to go with the cap. All right, that's another story. So, we're going to be honest, it's going to be a two-way street here. So, I want to start with a little exercise. So, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to ask you to turn around, and on your notepad that you have there, have me think. I'm not going to stand here and do all the talking, because I run out of talk. So, being a member of the GCCISD has given me 50 seconds.
No. I said it. Oh, you want me to say it out loud?
No, right now.
I'll do it.
Then I'm going to ask you, I want to get a vibe from you. So I'm not going to give you a lot of time, because you should already know. Or what has it done for you? What does it give you? I'm not prepared for it, but aside from that. Questions on the board, President?
Absolutely.
soon as you finish, you put the principal on.
I'm up there.
And we're so used
Great
to
problem.
it. Hear it.
I'm sorry?
We're so used to that.
That noise.
So we don't even hear it.
I'm a backseat driver with a heavy foot on the brake.
Well, that surprises me.
We're getting into dangerous territory there.
Really? Yeah. Well, when Richard's driving, heavy foot. Accelerator.
Okay.
So we'll popcorn this deal here, so we'll start reading what the board is giving you.
I'll start. It has given me just a new perspective on the way districts work. You know, it's given me a new perspective on the way districts work, coming from education.
It is. Yeah, I hear it.
It just gives me a new perspective on the way districts work, coming from the other side of education, being an employee, to being on the board, it's just a different. Just, you don't realize the things that happen kind of behind the scenes. As an educator.
It's giving me insight and most days hope. Insight and most days is hope. Yeah.
That's good. She sounds good.
Thinking over GCCISD is giving me a love for this community and passion to serve this community to the best of my ability.
Service.
We're working on the sound. Being on the board has given me a sense of what the whole part of education is totally about. Meaning that when you're outside, you don't see what's going on the inside. What totally is education. But when you're on the inside, you see exactly what goes into education as a whole.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I'll go next. I kind of answer it with my humor and honesty, and it's given me challenges and opportunities and what I do with those. Obviously, the challenges make me think outside the box and overcome obstacles. The opportunities that I would say it's afforded me is the opportunity to lead with honesty and integrity and model what I'd like to see in our school district.
Anyone else?
Yeah, mine's given me another opportunity to provide opportunities for students and teachers to learn and succeed.
Okay.
I'll go next. Excitement, hope. You'd have to be able to walk the campuses, meet the students, meet the staff, to truly understand why those two words are the ones that popped out. Obviously, I'm the newest member of the team, but there is so many great things that are occurring within the district boundaries that are not occurring in other places. And excitement and hope.
Okay. Anyone else?
Two hopes.
Long nights.
Yeah, long nights. It's you know, people think it's easy, but it's long nights. Well, thank you all for playing. That ends the show. No. If only, right? If only.
If only.
If only. Didn't know that you do a good job with these handouts. It's like I used to tell the superintendent when I was board president. You do all the work, I'll take all the credit. And they did. All right. So, I don't have
Here you go.
the flipper for the slide. That's okay. They have this here, but the print on here is a little.
Even with these on,
Little
it's a
small.
little bit.
So we have a couple of goals for tonight. Now, just if you're not buy them for tonight. If you're not going to buy them for tonight, rent them for tonight. How's that? Just rent them for tonight. And you don't even have to pay for them. Well, yeah, you do pay. But here's the deal. So, I'm asking you to, and I can't even see it from here, can you
There
read
it
that?
is.
Yeah, to understand the principles of collaboration, to
Yeah.
commit to the principles of collaboration.
Yeah, because we're
That's
gonna
exactly
look at
what it
those.
says.
Just a
Ah,
lot
that's
of
even better. To understand the principles of collaboration and to commit to the principles. That's for tonight. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. We're going to talk a lot about some things. And would you help me here, Mercedes? Sure. And Jesse, to pass this out. You see a little sentence at the, a little short paragraph at the top? All of this stuff that we're talking about is not going to make a lot of sense unless
They may have some pictures.
you're at a stoplight, you're at a stop sign, you're got some time, you're at the board meeting, you're here, and you remember what we talked about, and you say, oh, this applies here, this applies there, I can apply this here, I can apply that there. Now we're learning it. If you hear something and you teach it, you remember it. So at the very top, I don't want to have to read the whole thing, you can read that. But the important thing is the first sentence. You hear it, question it, and learn it. You have a question? That's fine, we'll deal with it. And then, and only how you practice what we talked about. By practice, I mean just what I said a while ago. Remember it by practicing it and put it into application. All right, so really quick, what's the difference between cooperation and collaboration? There's no wrong answer, there's no right answer. I mean, there's no wrong answer. There's different interpretations. You know the problem with smart people? They overthink something.
Yes.
And you're all smart.
Absolutely.
So I can see you right there. Okay, I've got to come up with something really sharp. No, you don't.
We have to use these.
Don't overthink it. What's the difference
You
with
have to use
cooperation?
these.
Let's keep it simple.
We don't have to use those for everyone in the room. We're doing a recording here.
Okay.
It's hard to, so we're just going to talk
I
amongst
think they
ourselves.
fixed them. It's a little.
What's the difference? Let's just talk cooperation. Just give me a simple definition of cooperation.
Working together.
Okay.
Tell me what to do and I say, okay.
Just in the interest of time.
Marriage.
Oh, you had to bring that up, Mr.
It's his fault. He made me.
Oh, you're recording this?
Yes.
I'm not saying anything.
This is recording.
Here's the deal. Let me give you an example. Cooperation. Think of a committee meeting. Okay? It's separate. We're going to go into committees. You've got this committee, you've got that committee, you got that one, you've got that one. You all work on this, okay? And then come back and report. It's just separate. We're going to cooperate on something. That's cooperation. Collaboration, we're all going to work on this together, right? We got to talk about removing the achievement gap. We're all going to do this together. Better yet, you're going to be back again. You're going to be a Texas Honor Board. Oh, now you're going to have to collaborate on that together. You did it once, you can do it again. That's your homework that I'm going to leave you with. You're going to collaborate on being the Honor Board. Why are you going to do that? Because it's going to make me look good. I'm selfish. That's another notch. The last district I worked with, I told them that. And guess what they did? They were the HEB Honor Board. You did it once. They hadn't done it. You can do it again. You got your homework assignment? Okay. And collaboration, you all work together on it. So what you're going to do now, to help her remember and practice that on that paper that I just gave you, use your skills. Write a number, a picture, something, a description other than definition to help you remember the difference between collaboration and cooperation.
I don't draw well.
Don't write it. A mnemonic, something that helps you remember. This is easy.
Anyone else use stick figures?
I use circle.
You use squares.
Did y'all get the cartoon around here called Jot? It was on Sunday morning. Jot was a dot.
John was a dot.
He
That
was
sounds
a little
familiar.
boy, but he was basically just a dot. I used some jots.
So what are you, oh, you still, okay, just put your pencils down.
We're not going to need your keen vision anymore, Jesse.
I was really
There you
impressed.
go.
Now I can see that.
We see that. Now you got it back.
That's fine. All right. So what did you just kind of hold up what you, just so I can see it. This is, okay, thank you. Can you explain it for me?
This is, well, this
They're
is all
separate.
separate groups,
And that's together.
and that's together.
Okay, that's good. All right. Planning, okay. That helps you remember. Just keep checking on it. Stays in your mind. Okay. All right. So I'm making a big deal out of this because collaboration is the key for effective board governance. Without it, it's pretty tough. For reaching consensus. What's consensus?
Everyone agree?
Agreement within the group?
Unanimity is when everyone agrees.
Right.
Yeah.
General agreement?
Where we meet.
Consensus is when, well, we don't all agree, but I'm gonna go along with it because it's the majority. So we can have a vote of what? What do you need?
4-3.
4-3. But when the public sees a 7-0, they say, well, that's the deal.
It's a census.
We used to have 7-0 votes. You know what we get? They'd say, "Here, rubber stamp." I said, "Isn't that wonderful?"
We hear that.
What do you mean wonderful? Well, we tell the superintendent, "Here are your goals. Go out and do it." Superintendent come back and said, "Here it is." We'd look at him. Why would we not approve what we told him to do? So we'd do it. The way we did that, we would have 2 weeks before the board meeting, we would have an agenda review. Everything the superintendent was gonna present, we reviewed 2 weeks before. There were no votes. We'd say, Mr. Superintendent, take us through the agenda you plan to present. We go through it, there was discussion on it. If the superintendent felt there wasn't, they'd pull it. We'd have a consent agenda. It was done. Our meetings lasted maybe under 2 hours, 2.5 hours. That was about it. And so we would have 7-0 votes. And so some of the community members would say, you're a rubber stamp. Sure. Because so the key is your board operating procedures. I looked at those. Now when he sent them to me, 3 weeks ago? I looked it over. It looked good. Not a problem. But the collaboration and board operating procedures go hand in hand. And just in case you don't have that, I'm going to give them to you a little later. You know, it doesn't hurt to look them over once in a while. So.
Yeah, especially since we're on the board.
I'm sorry?
I said, yeah, especially since we're on the board.
I can't understand it.
I said, yes, especially because we are on the board.
Yeah, but I mean, see, it's like my wife says I'm a hoarder because of all these clothes that I have, and she says, "Do you remember that shirt that you have?" And I say, "Yeah," and she said, "What shirt am I talking about?" It's the same thing with the board operating procedure. With any other policies is another one. So you have a policy committee to review it. I'll tell you a little story. Divert here. Football, and I'll skip the details, I'll give you the meat. Football coach is fired for due cause. Pretty serious stuff. Principal takes it to the superintendent. Superintendent says, "Oh my God." They call the attorney. "Oh my God, you're done, coach." A couple of months come by. They show up at the superintendent's office. You can't fire the coach. What do you mean can't fire the coach? Look at that. Oh man, what this guy did, blah, blah. Can't do it. What do you mean can't do it? Look at your policy. It has nothing to do with it. Yes, it does. Long story short, policy says only the athletic director can fire this coach. What? Only the athletic director can fire the coach. What do you mean, only the athletic director? It says on your policy. Coach that was reinstated, back pay to the school where he was. How do you think the principal felt? How do you think the superintendent felt? They never read the policy. Not good. So, you have board operating procedure, you gotta read it. You have your what? Commitments, gotta read it. They're excellent. I'm gonna steal one or two. I told you.
But give us credit, right?
Well, yeah. Yes, they're excellent. Here's the other good part about it. Here's the other really good part about your commitments. I have seen school districts that have 14, 15 commitments. There's no way you can remember 15 commitments. Not unless you have a photographic memory. How many people do you know have photographs? I don't know anyone.
Probably Jesse.
I always advise when I work with a school board that's working on core beliefs and commitments, we're going to do only 5. What do you mean we're going to do 5? How many fingers you got? And thought, 5. You can remember 5. How many you got? You know how many commitments you got? How many you got? How many you got? 5. They're excellent.
Yeah, we have 5.
They're excellent. The commitments you got are 5, and they are excellent. Get a little business card, carry them, or put them right there at the board table. I'm not telling you, they're excellent. You don't believe me? Go to your neighboring district and say, let's see your board commitments, and compare and contrast. You'll see what I'm talking about. And then show them yours. being honest with you guys.
Thank you.
What are the two most problematic governance issues for the board? There they are. Now the question is why? And what are the spin-off effects from that? Want to guess?
Success or failure? I mean,
So, remember the gunning? When you say something, especially in the political arena, and I've had board members tell me, I'm not a politician. Do you go out and campaign? Do you ask for votes?
Yep.
You are a politician.
Yep.
Well, but I'm not like those guys in Washington. I didn't say that. I said you're a politician.
Not a partisan politician, but you are.
So the thing is this. When you say something, that gunny could not take it back. It's too late. It's too late. And if you get used to that, it becomes a habit. So, you know, I told my kids, think before you say something and think about the effect it's going to have. Just think about it. And think about the effect that your words are going to have. That gunny didn't think, but that's how he was used to doing it. Goes out into civilian life. That's not a true story, by the way. Well, it may be, but if you know a gunny sergeant, those guys are on. So, how board members work with each other is a problem for the board, for the community, for your friends. You know, you think it's just at the board table. It's not. It goes out. And it affects staff, it affects the superintendent. You know, superintendents have a lot to do. I mean, name me another position where you have 7 bosses.
No way.
It's tough to have 7 bosses. And not making an excuse for superintendents. They know. They're like Tony Soprano. They know the life they've gotten into and the risks associated. So change his name to Tony Soprano. But they know it's not about the money so much. No, I'm not telling them not to pay him, but what I'm saying is it's about the working conditions. It's about the work. They know what they've gotten into. They know that. But it's the working conditions. You don't need another problem. And it is also how board members work in groups. Yeah. And collectively, because it's another headache. Right? Not only for you, but for staff. Now, you have questions, you want to push back on it, that's fine. When I got on the board, you can look it up, you can Google it. The board that I got on was labeled the most political board in the country. That was fun. That was fun. I learned a lot, right? But as a board member, not much you could do. I was sensitive to the superintendent. So you gotta, patience is not my strongest virtue, but you gotta understand. So I learned a lot from that. Anyone want to kick in on that? Want to say anything about that? I can give you some war stories, but now is not the time. I mean, it could be if you want to. I mean, doing this for 27 years, and there's a lot. Those are 2 of the most problematic issues for a board. And the spin-offs, the problems that come with that, especially in the political arena. It's tough to heal those wounds. So not that you can't do it. You can. You can. Why is it so difficult to be a board member? Well, other than the late nights, like Mercedes said, and there are late nights, they don't have to be, by the way. But why is it so difficult? Well, you know this. You represent many owners. Who are the owners?
Constituents.
Your constituents. If you didn't have many owners, you don't need a board.
Right.
So your constituents, right? Every constituent that comes to you they all have a different interest. So you represent many, many different owners. And I come to you with a special interest. Somebody else comes to you with a special interest. It's difficult. It's difficult. And the smaller the community, the tougher it is. There's a song, right? Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, something like that. In a big city, it's a little easier, but still. Have you ever had to close schools? Yeah? That is a lot of fun. We had to close schools when I was board president. Oh my God, it was horrible. This is a true story. I'll tell you this one word story because it has to do with the people. I went with my wife to the mall. I have daughters, I like to shop, I'll admit it. So I was at the mall, and this guy comes up to me and he says, "You look familiar, I've seen you on TV." I said, and I had been on TV because, they wanted, what about the schools? How many are you going to close? And blah, blah, blah. Every day, right? Well, and what about the teachers? How many are you going to fire? Every day. So this guy keeps on, I know you look familiar. I've seen, no, I get that a lot. No. He said, yeah. I've seen you on TV. You look so familiar. I said, I get that. I said, I looked like that guy on the school board. He said, yeah, that's it. That's it. You look just like it. I bet that pisses you off a lot, doesn't it? No, that's not me. So, so I didn't go to the mall for a while. You represent many owners. It's tough. The other one is the governance management line is hazy. What does that mean?
Just what it says. It's hard to know when you come out of your lane.
And sometimes they'll come to you, a parent or a community or a business owner. They come to you and say, "Well, why didn't you think I voted for you?" You got to do this for me. My daughter and my son, you got to do this for me. It's difficult. Why are school boards unique in comparison to private sector or nonprofit? What's the difference?
We're one of the most governance groups in the world.
Well, they govern too. They govern, but there's a difference. Think about it.
Let me try to say it another. We're the most regulated. Our hands are tied more than.
Well, thank God for those brilliant minds in Austin. They're so smart. They can tell the superintendent how to be a superintendent. They can tell our teachers.
Board member how to be a board member.
Oh yeah. Thank God for that.
And then we have to have these 3-hour trainings.
Just wait a minute. We're going to get some.
What he meant to say is we have to have these 3-hour trainings.
We get to.
So here's the thing.
See, it's how you say it.
Yeah,
here's the thing. A lot of boards, they have departments that have a legal department, right? And they have others that make the law. They have a department that has the money, right? All they do is, well, school board, you legislate, you're judicial, and you do the fiduciary. You do all three things.
Oh, wow.
And don't get paid. Plus, you said it, you're political.
Yeah.
You have a lot of eyes on you. You take your charter schools. Have you ever been to a charter school meeting?
They don't even tell you when they are.
No, they don't tell you where they are. They don't publish an agenda. Do you publish an agenda before? Yeah, you do. What are those chairs for? Naomi can tell you what they're for. What are those chairs for, Naomi? For the public. You are unique.
Yeah, we are.
It's difficult. It's difficult to be a board member. And then when you add to your own, we shoot ourselves in the foot by creating more problems for ourselves. It's not necessary. Just go back to your commitments. Those are excellent. I'm telling you. Ask around when you go to conventions. Ask them to show you your commitments. Right off to other boards and say, hey, we want to see other commitments from other boards. You'd be shocked. You get that at HEB. But you ever see the fish at HEB, how they just stare at you like that? And you ask the other boards, what are your commitments? They'll stare at you. What? They don't have those. So you are unique in that. I'm not making excuses how tough it is to be a board member. I'm just telling you that it's tough. You have to, not only write the rules, you have to enforce them.
Yep.
You have hearings, and they come to you, right? It's difficult. It is so difficult. Where's my? Any questions? Here we go. What does that mean, speak with one voice?
Even if we don't agree with maybe what was passed, we still support the district.
Well, a board is a body corporate. You're one. So I don't know how your media is here, but we'll talk about this in a little while, a little bit more. By the way, we don't take breaks. If you need a break, you go.
Okay.
There's the answer to your question.
So, I don't know how your media is here. We used to have a board member that used to tell me, you're the board president, go to the media, tell them to write something nice about it. I used to tell Joe, the media is a business. What do you mean? Well, they need to sell papers to stay in business. Well, go tell them to write about us. They only write when something bad happens. Yeah, because that's what sells. So I can't tell them to do that. I can, but they're not going to do it. The media is a business. We have to remember that. So, like I said, when we were closing schools, they would come to me and say, how many teachers are you going to fire? It's a personnel issue. They go to Dick. Well, we just talked to Joe, talking about the teachers firing, and didn't get the numbers straight. So how many are you going to fire?
I'm not going to fire any. They don't work. They don't work for me.
Oh, so you're not going to fire any teachers?
It's
Okay,
like
so
you
Tiffany, and they were unsure about the number of teachers. Now, from your point of view, how many teachers do you think you're going to fire?
That's a personnel issue.
I'm sorry?
That's a personnel issue.
I know. We know that. But give us a low figure and a high figure. Point I'm trying to make here, they're going to play one against the other until they get a number, so they can say, flash, Baytown is going to fire more or less X number of teachers. You think that's going to sell a newspaper? You bet, as opposed to they won't disclose. They're not going to print that.
Right.
That's no fun. So you have to be very careful with that. So the best thing to do is, usually the board president, is the one that they'll go to. So the board president speaks with one voice, not as the board president, as the board. Now, Jim may say, well, I'm going to delegate that to someone. That person, if that's the case, that person speaks for, not themselves, for the board. But they all have to say, well, look, Jim wants me to say this, and this is what we're going to say. What do you think? That's what we mean by one voice. The other is, if you have a unanimous vote on something, it's no big deal. The community sees that, fine. What are you going to do? We don't like the way Howard voted on it. Well, it wasn't just Howard, it was all of us. Why are you picking on him? It was all of us that voted like that. Now it's a 4-3. Whoa, right? So when we do superintendent censures, we tell the board, if you're not going to have unanimous, forget it.
Yeah.
It's not good for the community, it's not good for you, it's not good for the incoming superintendent. So until you're fine with a candidate, don't even think about it. That's what I mean by one voice. Once the vote is taken, it's done, right? No surprises. What does that mean?
I can think of one.
Go for it.
A 2-0 to 6 abstention vote.
That was a surprise.
2-4-0 against, 6 abstain, or 5 abstain. That was a surprise.
That was a big surprise. I've never heard of that.
I think that surprised every one of us.
That's a big surprise. Well,
You didn't
I
surprise
don't
me.
know how that happened, but it happens. I've never heard of that. Wow. Got to go back to the drawing board on that deal. The other surprise is this. If a board member at the meeting says something like, Mr. Superintendent, I'd like to know why at X school the boys are going into the girls' restroom and nobody's ever doing anything about it. They've been doing that for the past 2 weeks. Why is anything not happening at this school? I demand to know about that, why nothing is happening right now. Oh, and I said, it's been happening for a while. How long have you known about this, Mr. Board Member? For 2 weeks, and you haven't brought this to me before? That actually happened to the superintendent in Houston. It was Rod Page, and a board member at a meeting said, do you allow school district vehicles to participate in the Mardi Gras parade? And Dr. Page said, of course not. Why do you ask? Because I was at Mardi Gras and I saw Houston ISD there. I took a picture. And I went up to the driver and asked him, are you an employee of that? Yes. And they said, Dr. Page said, that was 2 months ago. Why didn't you tell me? I would have had an answer. Well, that board member was running for re-election.
Of course.
That's a surprise at the board table. So that's what I mean by surprises.
Yeah.
The other one is to listen. That goes without saying. Listen carefully. It's not always the first sentence. Listen to the second sentence. Listen to the third sentence. You're so engrossed in the agenda that we're not listening. And then when you don't listen carefully, we interpret, misinterpret. We're all human. We are all human. We maintain our dignity, especially, and you record your meetings, I've seen them. Maintain your dignity. Board meetings matter. It's not only adults looking at it. in this era of social media, so maintain your dignity and never disrespect each other. Even when you think no one is watching, it's never no one is watching. Everyone is always watching. It maintains self-control. It's like I say, we're all human. But it's like I say, we know the risk associated with this life we've chosen. And we stay out of the management line. You know that line. It's hazy, but we know it, but it's tough to do. It's very difficult to do. Now, it doesn't hurt to be reminded of some of this stuff every now and then. What did I look at this moment? Here's something that I'm going to ask you to do. You're either doing it more or less, or sometimes or not. It's either yes or no, or more or less. So, if you would please. This is not all inclusive, by the way. And if I forgot something that I didn't write down, bring it up. We'll put it on there and we'll use it. And yes, Jim, I'll give you credit.
The board gets credit, not Jim.
Yes. One voice.
One voice.
All right. Oh, so here's the exercise. If you're doing this, put a circle around it. If you don't think you are, leave it blank. First one, appointed a highly qualified superintendent. You got that one down. Let me mention something to you. Sometimes I get called by a fellow by the name of Mike Moses to go help me.
We know that guy.
Yeah. Tried to hire him.
And my wife says, who is that? I said, Ma. She said, who? I said, Ma. Who is Ma? I said, Moses. His name is Mike. I said, no, Ma. He's from East Texas. You know what I'm talking about? If you hear his name, he says Ma. He's from East Texas, Moses. So I help him. And he always says this. If you have a 3-star superintendent, do what you can to keep him. You have a 4-star, sell your kids to get the money to pay the superintendent. If you have a 5-star, sell everything, including yourself. Why is that? Because a 5-star, we're coming after him. We're coming after them. Why is that? There's not many 5-star superintendents. Here's the deal. You got one of them right here.
We hope so.
No, trust me. I go around. And the thing is this. It's like I said earlier. Yes, it's the money. They got to go to HEB just like you and me. It's the working condition. It's the working condition. They know that it's a challenge. There's no question about it. They're prepared to deal with this challenges, or they wouldn't be here. But it's the working conditions. I don't know if you'll agree with this. What they ask us is, what kind of support are they going to give me? They being the board. You don't have to nod or say anything. But they say, what kind of support is that board going to give me? Because they know it's going to be tough, especially now. They know that. They know that. We have a niece, and I'm not going to tell you what school district. Teacher of the Year several times. Master's degree, all kinds of things. She quit in the middle of the year. She quit in the middle of the year to go help her husband in construction. Outstanding teacher. You know what? Because of the principal. Because the superintendent. 2-star. The board, dysfunctional. Does a dysfunctional board hurt? You better believe it. They lost it. So I told my wife, I'm going to call Michelle. So I called her. And I talked to her. I said, is there anything I can do to help? And we had a long talk. She said, you know what? I thought you were going to convince me to go back. I said, no. The last thing I was going to do. I know this program that works with kids and things. So I was going to ask her to go talk to this lady. She said, I'm never going back. That's the effect that it has. All right, so here we go. Appointed highly qualified superintendent, circle yes or no. Lead the development of the board's core beliefs and commitments. If you did that, circle it. If you didn't, leave it blank. Ensure that the board's goals focus on student achievement. Circle if you've done that. Lead the development of the district's mission, and board goals. Lead the development. Now, there you have to include the superintendent, right, and staff. Lead the development of the district theory of action. You know what that is?
It's our strategic plan.
It's a little different from that, but leave that. Just scratch it through. That's something completely different. All right. Ensure that the superintendent is successful. I used to ask our superintendent, what can we do to help? Simple, right? What can we do to help? The other thing I would do is tell him, look, when I said, you do all the work, I'll take all the credit, I was serious. I tell him, you know Robert Dudon?
Yep.
Ask her. Ask her if I told him that. I did. And I would tell Robert, I said, you do all the work, I'll take all the credit. What I meant by that is, you take care of the district, I'll take care of the politics. We got along great. The other is understand policy development, govern by policy, develop new policy with a council of the superintendent. Why is that? Well, every policy is going to have maybe money attached to it, personnel, all kinds of issues that the superintendent is responsible for. I used to see the superintendent as a senior counselor, senior advisor rep. Approve and adopt a fiscally responsible budget. You have to do that, so you circle that. Provide effective periodic, systematic district educational management and operational oversight, not manage the district. You do that? Number 9. Circle it if you do. Number 10. Model personal, legal, and ethical behavior. If you don't do that legal and ethical behavior, you're in trouble. Evaluate the superintendent mutually agreed goals. I don't know about those off the shelf, but that's your business. 12, conduct a board self-evaluation, followed by a goal-setting retreat. If you don't do that, leave it blank.
That's what this one.
13, ensure effective communication with the board and superintendent. No surprises at the board table. Train as a team. Well, congratulations, you're all here.
We got 14.
Yeah,
I'm sorry?
We got 14 down. We're here right now.
That's what I said. Congratulations. Ensure 15. Ensure high-performing board via effective board governance.
Long term.
speak with one voice, etc. Listen, always ask for recommendation of the superintendent prior to board action. That doesn't mean that you have to take the advice of the superintendent, but that's what you're paying them for. Why is that? Well, the superintendent knows the district a mile deep and a mile wide. You know it a mile wide, not a mile deep, because you're not supposed to. 17, board meetings matter. Now you have it out on, even I can see it. My grandson saw it. I was sitting there, what are you doing? I said, I'm watching Baytown. Can I see it? No, it's classified. Other, anything that's left over. All right, superintendent responsibilities. Oh, Joe, we're not going to leave you out. Now here, communicate in a timely manner. At A&M, I used to work in the doctoral program and working with people that want to be superintendents. And the first question I asked was, why? So then they said, well, what do we need to know? I said, 3 things when working with the board. First one is communicate. The second one, communicate. The third one, communicate. Got to communicate with your board until they tell you enough already. Communicate. Okay. Number 2, ensure that board members receive the same information. Right? That was one of Robert's strengths. Just if a board member came and said, I want this information, Robert said, Robert, why are you sending me this? Because James asked for it, but eventually, okay. Be prepared, superintendent responsibilities, be prepared to communicate, recommend, support the board's development of the vision. You need information, and especially when preparing that, they're there with you. Number 4, create a good organizational culture. To me, culture is an important word, and good culture especially is good. A good culture will carry you through a mistake. Will support you. A good culture will support you. 5, successfully lead efficient, safe, and welcome environment for all of the school system. Any question about that? How do you do that? The easy way? What's the easy way? Well, you don't have to deal with all that stuff. You want to know? There's no extra charge. Support the superintendent and ensure they're successful. If you do that, you got number 5. 6, same thing as number 5. 7, you have a good CFO. Superintendent will see to that. 8, oh man, you have no choice on that one because the superintendent has to do that. 9, you bet superintendent does that. 10, superintendent. Remember, we're talking about superintendent responsibilities. 11, superintendent needs to communicate policy issues, success, and revisions. Support the board in whatever they need. I think you got somebody there that can do that. Apprise the board in a timely manner. One of the things that we used to say is, don't keep bad news from us, because it doesn't get any better.
True.
So true.
This is superintendent responsibility, conduct the evaluation of the district staff, serve as a resource during the board evaluation, timely communication with the community. I saw some of your things that you go out to the community. Pretty impressive. Concise board meeting agendas. I saw some of those. Proactive with communication at all times. Remember, we're talking about superintendent. And an advocate for the district with elected officials. Literally, he had to go to a meeting. I wanted to meet with him. He didn't want to meet with him because he had to go meet with some officials. And I think he was just dodging me. All right, turn the page. Now here's where we get to some relationship. I should have put in there potential issues. You may or may not have these issues. And I say potential issues because some districts don't have these issues, right? Some districts have them to the max. I told you about my niece, and the reason she quit, it all stems from the top. Dysfunctional board, hired the wrong superintendent hired the wrong principal, and it just goes on down the line. So Michelle quit.
Yep.
So what? Relationship there? Relationship with parents, right? Your special needs parents and your athletic booster parents, oh, you always want them on your side. Bad parents, you always want them on your side. They can be great allies or
Adversaries.
or not.
Or not.
You don't want the or. Stakeholders, elected officials. We used to hold a breakfast for elected officials. Maybe we'd get 5% of it would come, but we held it. It was on them to come. Your employees' relationship with, you got to be careful with this one. You got to be careful with this one. On with employees. Why is that can be an issue? They see you talking to one employee too much.
Yeah.
Some employees are innocently, somebody sees you talking to that employee.
Different agendas.
The rumor line starts. So even if it's innocent, you got to be careful with that. Now we don't have unions in Texas, so to speak. A lot of the work I did was on the East Coast. When we did stuff like that, those chairs would be filled. You know, with who? The head of the unions. It's a different world up there. The grass is greener, and the grass is greener here, because you don't have to deal with the unions. Everyone has a union. Principals have a union. Assistant principals have a union.
Wow.
All right. The media, we talked about the media. Their job is to sell newspapers. If they can play Jim against Howard, they're going to do it.
Yep.
Students can be an issue. We started a student advisory committee on the board, and it was a great idea. The only problem with it is when they tell you something and you don't do it, you think the parents? These kids are sharp. Relationship with superintendent, faith groups. Sometimes some districts, and I put it on there because some districts, they tell me, we had a big issue with them because we never included them. We thought we had to have separation. It doesn't mean you have to pray, but this should be included because a lot of your constituents go to these churches. All right. Potential board, superintendent issues. We've talked about this a little bit on all of those, so I won't go over that. Minimizing problems. As adults, we understand this. Demonstrate respect. Now, here's the tough part. We're human. We have issues that we carry with us. We bring them with us. And it's hard once you walk into the door to divest yourself of some of those issues. I know it's hard. Listening to other points of view. That's very difficult. You divest yourself, but it's a question of focus on what are we here for? Your mission statement. It's a great mission statement. That should be there, or up there, or could be up there. A lot of districts have them up there.
It's right there.
The other is diverse views are okay as long as they're meeting to your goals and mission, right? That's fine. No surprises at the board table, the two-way street, and know your role as a board member. What are we supposed to do, right? All right. Now, we talked about these right here, board superintendent, we jumped ahead of ourselves. Not governing by policy, and also, I didn't put it on there, and I don't think you do, I didn't see it on any ones of the videos that I saw that you divert from the agenda. That's dangerous, right? I'll tell you one quick war story. And this happened in a southeast state during a board meeting. Weird configuration of the board in a circle. They're going through the agenda, and the board member says, Mr. President, I'd like to bring up, call for a vote. It's not on the agenda. Board president says, what agenda item are you referring to? He said, it's not on the agenda. At that point, the board president should have said, we cannot entertain your motion. So board president, what is your motion? I move that we fire the superintendent. I played back the tape, and I thought it was a joke. It wasn't. Guess what? It was a prearranged deal. They fired the superintendent.
Wow.
Well, superintendent got a lawyer, well, didn't stand. Guess what happened? They put it on the agenda for the next meeting. That didn't stand because they didn't do the due process for the whole thing. The point is that people don't believe that. And if you want, I can cite where it happened and you can look at it. All kinds of weird things happen. All kinds of weird things happen. Potential problems, no board self-evaluation and goal setting. If you don't believe that that happens, it does. It does. No board self-evaluation and goal setting. Any question over this?
No, just listening.
Well, do more than listen. I mean, just, some people say, come on, that's really happens? I said,
Well, I believe it. I mean,
the thing is, out of respect and integrity, I'm going to honor where some of these things happen. But you can Google it.
we believe you.
It's embarrassing. Board operating procedures. So your board operating procedures, again, however you want to go, left or right, left or right. You have these. Remember the story I told you about my shirt? I don't know what shirt it was. She got rid of it. But I really she said, I got rid of your shirt. I didn't say which one. I said, oh, okay. I don't know. But my point on that story is, don't leave this in your closet. Every once in a while, look at this. This is good stuff that you have here. This is really good stuff. Now, I have here Cliff Notes, just headings of board operating procedures. Now, what I'd like for you to do right now is you have on your board operating procedures, if I'm not
It's a
mistaken,
copy, wasn't it?
I'm very familiar with it.
just at the very top, you have it in bold, very quickly. See the one that I just gave you? That has the bullet points? These are not mine. I'm not that smart. This is what I took from what I consider to be, what I consider that should be in board operating procedures. Again, it's not all inclusive. It's not all inclusive. But these should definitely be in your document. So what I'd like for you to do right now is to go and look at your headings that are in that black rectangle frame and see, check off the handout that I gave you and make sure that there are these covered in there. You've got a big document there because you specified, you delineated what it means.
taking coats off, and I'm about to put one on.
I know.
I'll gladly give y'all one of mine. I was just waiting for them to.
You know, I said we weren't going to take a break. My voice is going, so let's
No
take
breaks.
I said we are going to take a break. You are listening carefully. My voice is going, so I want to take. Let's take 10 minutes.
Let's call it a field
We'll
trip,
come
then
back.
it's not a break. We'll
What?
take a field trip.
It's a field trip to
Wherever you want to go, yeah.
10 minutes. Dougie Fresh.
Yeah, started going.
You need something to drink, sir?
I got it.
Something stronger? Like a Coke or like something with a little,
I already had 18 days after 8.
oh, Lord. Don't get me started on that. I might need
So
some of
just
those.
remember it's still recording momentarily.
I might need some of those too.
I have cousins in Monterrey,
Oh, Rick.
and the girls, listen to this, he says, the girls will outdrink the guys.
Oh, I know.
Tequila, followed by, have you heard of India? Oh my God, that's a good
I know I have a friend like that.
I guess let me make it a
Jeez.
tequila, just down some.
Yeah, he like that.
That's what
We're going to take a 10-minute recess. The time is 7:24 p.m.
Yes.
All right, the time is 7:38 p.m. We'll reconvene back in session. We can continue talking about it. Jesse and I were the only ones not on board.
So, this handout that I gave you on these points, I took these, on that opening statement when you introduced me, Jim, did
Yes,
you
sir.
mention about working with the Broad Prize winners?
I did not. We talked about that on the phone,
We talked
but
about
we didn't really
So,
have that in the
let
bio.
me just tell you what a Broad Prize winner is. It connects with this. A Broad Prize winner, first of all, Broad, B-R-O-A-D, is after Eli and Edie Broad. They're in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Eli Broad gave a lot of money to school districts. I'm sorry. Yeah, to school districts, specifically to school boards, that were exemplary. And because of their exemplary governance, resulted in exemplary school systems.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I had the opportunity to work with two of those school systems. One of them was Houston and Gwinnett County in Georgia. Anyone ever fly into the Atlanta airport?
Yes.
Okay, that's Gwinnett County
Yeah.
school system. In order to get that prize, which is significant, $1 million or something like that, in order to get that prize, you have to be an exemplary school board. What is an exemplary school board? What does it look like? Pretty much like that. But it goes deeper. Show me the result of your actions as a governing body, not just that you get along. Show me your policies. Show me the consistency of your governance. Most importantly, show me about your academic performance of your district. So, we had the firm that I work with, we had a case study, Gwinnett County. This is part of that. Not a lot there, right? And you see where it says standards of professional practice? That comes from some school systems not calling it board operating procedures. They can call it whatever you want. It's not the title, it's the content. It's not the content, it's the adherence to the document. Remember the shirt in the closet? I don't know about that shirt. So if you have a beautiful document like you have, and you don't adhere to the content, what good is it? Right? What good was that shirt? I don't even know what shirt she was talking about. Because she said you never wore it. So I'm going to give it to Matthew. Okay? So the Broad Prize winners, what does that board look like? Well, it wasn't always a unanimous vote. It wasn't always a kumbaya. Yeah, they had disagreements, but they were respectful disagreements. A 5-member board. And they were all professionals. By professionals, I mean doctors. Can you imagine 3 lawyers? And you have one doctor, and I forgot what the other, a contractor that had his own company. But 3 lawyers. I have a grandson that's a lawyer. And they had come to Jesus meetings, but they were respectful meetings. But here's the thing. When we went to high school, or any school, we didn't know a lot of people. But eventually we became friends, and some of us still have those friends, right? And on the board, sometimes I say, boards are created to fail because we don't get to select our board members. They're selected by other people. That doesn't mean we cannot be friends. That doesn't mean we cannot get along. There's an old African proverb that says, when the elephants fight, only the grass suffers. And in this case, it's the kids. Think of my niece, Michelle. Who got hurt in the end? The kids. Because the elephants were fighting. The kids got hurt. And I told my wife, I'm going to talk to Michelle. She said, don't do it. And I haven't. Should I? I could get her a job somewhere. But she's maybe in a year or so. She was, I'm not going to tell you what she was like. The kids suffered. All because of that dysfunctional board. Bad. It was bad. Getting back to this. That board in Gwinnett County, look them up. Gwinnett County. Part of that is here. Yes, 3 lawyers, you can imagine. But they respected each other. Now, they didn't know that they were going for the Broad Prize. Broad selected them because of their actions. Why can they do it? Why can't you? No law says you can't do it. No law says you can't be the H&E Honor Board of the Year. I'm on the panel of judges for that. And we're going to meet May the 4th in Houston. I got to drive through there again. Don't take it personally. And we go around the state and we interview boards. We have a winner, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. But a board where I work with, I told them, I said, apply for it. And they go, oh yeah, like we're going to get it. Well, no, you're not going to get it right now. But if you work at it, you can do it. Make me look good. No, I mean, who's going to win here? Kids, right? It feels good to be a winner. What's that in the movie? Good to be the king. So, getting back to this. How many did you not check off? Just
3.
What are they?
Participation in board meetings, election and transition of
What I would
officers.
say, participation in board meetings?
Is that in there?
You don't have that in,
Board meetings, which number is that?
where is that?
Second
How far
one?
down
The
is it?
second one.
It's on page 6.
Participation in discussion? Okay. What other one?
I also have election and transition of officers.
13.
I think we had that one.
Maybe I got those wrong.
Election and transition of officers, you don't have that in here.
I was actually, no?
Does anyone have election and transition officer that's not in your board operating procedures?
It's not.
It's not.
It's not, okay.
It's not.
I thought it was on 13.
On page 13.
You have it?
Annual and monthly immediate following the board reorganization, the board president will, it just said
Is it
that.
there, Jim?
It's not,
That's all they give us.
It's not a,
it's not a comprehensive
Yeah.
on that.
Well,
It talks about what we do after we elect somebody, but it doesn't talk about the actual
it's
election.
something that I would recommend you look at
Mm-hmm.
because it may be an issue. What else, Jesse?
Personnel appointments. What do you want from there? I was just eager to go to the restroom, honestly.
No, you're right. I didn't have that one either.
Yeah, I was eager to go to the
I
restroom.
didn't
so
circle
was
that
like-
I don't see that on here.
Going through it quickly, yeah.
Going to the restroom. You have that in your, no.
No.
What about you, Dick?
no.
Eager's on there.
Personnel appointments, team building,
Personnel appointments, okay, we have two of them there. And what is the other one?
team building.
You didn't see that on there? Anything else?
Executive session.
No, that's not in there.
Okay. What else?
Oh, yeah, executive session.
I kind of, there's two that start with participation, and they're kind of both vaguely in the same place.
Okay, which one? I'm sorry.
The participation in public meetings,
That's not in there?
well, vaguely.
Basic.
And
So it is vague.
participation in discussion, debate, and voting is also pretty vague.
Okay, so what would help in participation in public meetings? You need to tighten that up?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what you maybe don't know is we're in the process of rewriting our board operating procedures.
Oh, good. That's what we're doing right now?
So this is
This
helpful.
document is extremely helpful.
Keep going. This is very helpful.
Because what we're doing here, I wish I could say I created this. I had it typed up. That was my
You typed it.
contribution.
Yeah.
And I selected these from award-winning boards. And so, hey, it's public record. You can take these and just make sure that it's in yours and tighten up the language. And how hard, as my friend of mine says, how hard can that be? All right?
Because it had it on, it was,
We can have it, so.
I had personnel appointments, team building.
See, personnel appointments, one of the things we had up here that is one of the issues, and I'll give you a war story on that. I was on the board, and I wasn't a board officer yet, where a board member came to Joe, and Joe wanted to appoint an assistant superintendent, and I came to Joe, not me, and said, Joe, I'm the deciding vote on the board, and I'll give you the vote if you assign Julian as principal at the school. And Julian wasn't worth a flip as a principal.
Be a problem.
What do you think, Joe? Is that a good job? When that board member comes in and says that? Jesus. Personnel appointments can be so that really needs And if that were the only incident, that'd be nice, but it wasn't. And how to deal with personnel. We even had a board member that was visiting a nurse on a frequent basis and not even go. Okay, so that's a hey, he was hurt.
He was hurt.
You can talk to Ruben Olivares about
His
that.
toe.
Ruben and I had a great time.
It's her job. Babe.
Never a dull moment. What else, Tiffany?
Team building, and then the executive session.
I'm sorry?
Executive session.
Okay. That's 3 on executive session. Okay. Helen?
Well, I couldn't find the first one, communication with the media. And then
You don't have that in your...
That's on number 5.
on page 5?
Yeah.
That's why I asked. I went, 'cause I listened.
Get some gander help right here. Robert
And then
E.
I
Gander.
had, the other 2 was team building and personnel appointments. Let me see on 5.
Okay. Howard?
I looked there. I didn't see
Oh, I'm sorry, Helen. Are you through?
I'm looking again, but it didn't say it specifically.
Sorry.
Oh, I see it now.
I didn't
Make sure
see
that
it.
specific comments to the meeting. Okay, thank you.
Personnel was one of mine, but I didn't see employee grievance and appeals.
There's grievance.
In your document?
Page 10.
That,
Page,
yeah,
was it page 10?
Look on 10.
Last one is
concerns and complaints.
I marked all the pages on mine where I found it.
Oh, okay.
Page 10.
You went to Sterling too?
No, I went to Lee.
What?
It's not on there?
Page 10.
Okay.
Anything else on it?
I want to say, what was the other one?
This one. Election and transition of office.
Yeah, the election and transition of officers. I didn't see that. That was the 2, 3 that I didn't see.
It's in there, but they.
Yeah, it's in.
It's on page 13.
Yeah, I think everything came on the bottom, last page. Yeah, 'cause this
Good job,
had
Howard.
desired.
Oh, I don't know. Still waiting on Howard.
I'm trying to see where. Because it said activity calendar.
See right here, number 1 and 13.
Yeah.
Annual board reorganization, that kind of thing, but it's vague. It's
Yeah,
not like
vague.
just
That's why I
spelled
didn't.
out, that's why.
And the calendar was there.
Calendar was
And it was.
13, is
Yeah.
page 13.
So on the annual board calendar, I would say that it's there, but it's not there in the function that it probably should be. Our board operating procedures talk about how to prepare it, but it does not have an annual board calendar that we as a board can look at and say, in this month, and this month, these certain things are going to happen.
Okay, so that's an interesting topic you brought up. And I think we talked to the superintendent extensively on that. And a lot of things come up at the last minute, right? There are some things that the superintendent can tell you, yeah, in September, we know this is going to happen. October, November, December. And we can tell you that he can note that on that respective month. But there are other things that will come up. Right? So, but it is important, it does help with that. You know, board meetings, of course, on a regular basis. Emergency board meetings, of course, is necessary. So things like that. But that does help you with the planning. and how you spend, everything, by the way, is contextual. If I tell you what we did or what this district does, it could help, but everything is contextual. Whatever works for you. We tried going from, since you come from different districts in your community, right? That can be good, that can be bad. It depends on the community. If it's working, fine. The issue that we had sometimes that we had on occasion, and one time we had some board members that said, I'm just concerned about my district. Well, no, not really. You're a member of the board. You're not just that district. You're a member of the board. You're responsible for, it says, we had on our vision and mission, all kids in italics, underscored, and bold. It's all kids. So we had initially 2 board members that were just that. No. And so it was a little hairy. Guess what? They didn't get reelected. But that's another story. But whatever works, that when it comes to the district, what I was getting at, we used to have meetings in each district. Well, we found out that, I don't remember if it was Ruben, I think it was Ruben that said, hey, Julian, it's costing overtime for our custodians, and just, it's really hard for them. And we thought that the community would come out. They didn't. And some from this district, from District 7, wouldn't come to the meeting because they'd have to drive all the way over to District 1. And so 6 would have to drive all the way over to District 4. So we cut it out. But we tried. And we had less attendance at board meetings. But besides, it cost more. And then the parking, and then we had to have more security. But we tried it. It didn't work. And we tried to appease those 2 board members. And see, people didn't show. In fact, that was the worst attendance for those 2 days.
Of course.
So, anyway, Jim?
Yes, sir.
You're on deck.
I agreed with everything that's been presented.
That's an easy out.
It is, but I'm going to go over them anyway. And I'm going to talk about the big ones that I think are most important.
Okay.
And that is participation in discussion, debate, and voting, and executive session attendance confidentiality. I kind of grouped those together in a way. And then we don't have election and transition of officers. That's not in there. It talks about a little bit about the reorg, but it really doesn't go deep into that.
Jim, you want the easy answer to debate, voting, discussion, debate, and voting?
I don't know if the easy answer is the best answer, but I'll hear it.
So just about, I would say 98% of the school boards that I work with, that comes up. Well, except the ones that we're doing follow-up. That comes up. Discussion, not this debate, not so much the voting, but discussion and debate. Prior to that, just like I did with yours, I look at their core beliefs and commitments before I go. If their core beliefs and commitments are weak, I say, we need to have a workshop on your core beliefs and commitments, because everything is based on that. Because your collaboration is based on that. Fortunately, you have good commitments. And you're working on your board operating procedures. So the easy answer for those boards, I would tell them, look at your commitments and follow those commitments. And I get a little bit sarcastic and say, unless somebody has a reading problem and you can't read that, or you have a comprehension problem, then I don't understand the problem. But if you have a good board operating procedures and good commitments for your board, What's the issue? Either you're not doing it because you don't want to, or you don't understand what your role is. One of the two. Because as adults, right? Now, if kids, right? But if your commitments are there, and when I go with the boards and if your commitments are, we say, we need to work on your board commitments and your board operating procedures. Then we can go from there. And then we go, now, if you get in a problem, then it's a question of policing, right? It's like a red light. You have a red light, but if you don't enforce it. So there it is. So I commend you for rewriting that, but you've got to stick to that. We had those 2 board members that were just committed to their respective districts. And we had to tell them, it's not just that. You can't expect all of us to just vote when an item comes up for that district. We're going to have to vote for whatever. And I hated to say this, 5 trumps 2. Another 5 votes will trump you 2. I hate to do that and tell you that, but that's the way it works. 6 trumps 1, 4 trumps 3 on the votes. Hate to do that. I want 7-0. So let's look at that. So, but yes, discussion and debate. The other thing is board meetings matter. What kind of attendance do you get at a board meeting?
Overall, we're pretty good at attendance.
What does that mean? How many people?
90%.
The majority of times we're 7.
No. I'm talking about it public.
Oh, public. How many people are at the public? Oh, in the beginning, a lot, because we have student
Depends on the
spotlight.
issues, right?
Yeah. Right.
If you have an elementary choir, you're going to have standing room only.
Right.
Right, but once student spotlight ends and half of it, the people leave, and then when
Recognition.
recognition's over, the other half leave. We go into closed session, we come back out. It's nobody but the one person
the
that had a
staff.
grievance or something.
Yeah.
But we have a handful of people
We
that
have a-
stay through until we go
Yeah.
into closed session.
Yeah, depending on the issues. But the thing is, you're also televised.
Right, they go and watch
So,
it the next day.
but you don't know how many people watch it. So we didn't televise. So we would have I'll tell you when we stopped getting people. When we started checking Ruben and when we started getting the 7-0 votes. Because the media's finally stopped coming. No fun.
Well, all you got to do is go on social media here and you'll see the people that were watching.
Yeah,
They watch, they listen.
That's why meetings matter. And it's not just here, it's your friends, your relatives, they talk about it, Look at these people up there, man. They compare us, well, I'm not on the board anymore, but they're comparing board members to politicians. You're all in the same bucket.
Pretty much.
We just don't get the same pay.
No,
I do.
but you get the blame, right? Things go wrong in anything. Where are you going to blame? Schools. It's your fault.
Superintendent.
Superintendent's fault. That's why you got to make them
Good or
successful.
bad. They're really going to say
No, it goes back and forth. A lot of times we're the blame.
It's more on the board
It's-
here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back. Do you have anything here that you need to put?
I ran out of time, but I had pretty much the same one. So.
Okay, so here's the thing. I commend you, first of all, for you have a lot of circles on here. You have a lot of circles, participation in public meetings, annual board calendar. That's an easy fix. Participation in discussion, debate. Well, you're not alone on that. Why is that? Human relations is tough. Interactions is tough, but it can be fixed. Just respect and understanding. Listen. State of your mission. stating your core values. Executive session, attendance confidentiality. New board member orientation, well, I don't, election and transition of officers. How do you elect, how do you become board president? You rotate?
Annually, by law.
We reorganize, generally we reorganize annually, and it's
We don't
usually,
Not make nominations.
necessarily rotate.
right,
We don't
Well, how
always
do you do
rotate. Nominations for the board.
Nomination.
nominations.
So you do vote on it?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
I didn't like that. Not you, but I didn't like it. I was board president 6 years, I didn't want to be board president.
Well,
Exactly.
in my opinion, I think
Exactly.
everybody should
Do a
serve
bad job.
That's the way I felt, but say this, but
because everybody's elected, you know, and everybody should have that opportunity to grow.
that's fine. I was 6 years, I didn't want to do it, Joe. 6 years?
That's one of our problems. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Our personal
No, I don't
problem.
want to do it 6 years.
Well,
No,
I mean,
that's a
All
lot.
right, so.
I mean,
okay.
it's kind of, it's a job that, you know, who wants that job? But, I mean, everybody should serve.
Why is it when I came in that we had to close schools? I don't want to be on TV.
It's been
I
a
think I
busy
know
year
you.
for
I
all
think
of
I
us.
know you. I'm not going to the mall with you. Team building. Why did you circle that? You do that, don't you?
It's not in policy, or
Oh, you got-
it's not in procedure, we just do it.
So, here's the thing.
Well, this is considered team building.
No, I'm
Right.
talking
I mean-
about having it in your board.
Oh,
So
yeah.
here's the thing. Every
12, it says.
board that I've worked with that's been recognized in one form or another has an annual board self-evaluation and followed by annual goal setting. Not for the district, but for the board. Based on our self-evaluation, this is what we need to do for the year.
Right.
This is what we need. Every board that I've worked with that has been recognized, whether it's a Broad Prize winner or recognized nationally, when we were recognized nationally, we did that. And it's tough to do. Every one of them did that.
I thought this was, but it's not.
Remember, but you gotta be honest with yourself, just like that gunny, honestly.
Gunny.
So, personnel appointments that's gotta be, that's, you have to ratify, right? It comes to you, so-and-so is appointed. That's fine, you know, you gotta approve. But so what do you do if, through the grapevine, you hear that somebody's going to be appointed principal in your district, and you've heard some things about that person? What do you do?
Go to the
Go
superintendent.
to superintendent.
Let me tell you what I know.
That's it. We just tell them what we know. And that's all.
I'll let you have that one, and you let me have that assistant superintendent. No, that's a different story.
Yeah.
So that personnel appointments,
Most everything, any issue that we got, we go through him. In a nutshell.
you mean from your constituents?
Everything, pretty much.
Unless they bring us
Complaints,
something directly about the
administration.
superintendent, we direct them to the proper channel. If there's one thing we all agree on, I think it's that.
Okay, so let me throw a wrench in this.
Okay.
He's got 7 bosses,
Right.
but he's not your boss.
That's not a wrench. We know that.
Right, you know that.
Ain't no wrench.
So
He's our educational
when
expert, though.
when you as a board misbehave, who disciplines you? Superintendent can. The
She
superintendent,
tries.
I try.
the superintendent can advise you. I remember when we would get out of hand, our superintendent would say to me, hey, but he's not your boss. So who disciplines you? Or in general, who disciplines the board?
Well, if I have, like, for me, if I have an issue and it may be something we may need to discuss as a board, I'll go to our board president and then say, is this something we need to look at for the agenda, something we need to do in closed session, but how we need to handle it, something that's come up on a basis like that, then that has been typically how I've handled it.
I would
If
say,
it's another member. let me
right.
just say that.
I would say the responsibility is on the board president. However, our current operating procedures don't have anything ratified that support those issues.
You
If all
understand
else
what I'm
fails,
saying?
I call TASB.
It's very difficult
Right.
for a superintendent, any superintendent, to go and say, you can't do that. Well,
I've called TASB and got a legal opinion. I do that.
but remember, who hires your attorney? You do.
Yeah.
You can't tell me what to do. I hire you.
And that's the way it works.
That's
Yeah.
the way it works. But then again, the question remains: who disciplines you? A board.
We need to
We have self-discipline as well.
Well, but that's it. That's what I'm saying. You know?
Yeah.
So let me tell you this. An exemplary board that I've seen, they discipline themselves.
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
What does that look like, Julian?
What it looks like?
Yep. Kind of walk us down that path a little
I'll
bit.
walk you down that path. The gunny search. Just gotta be honest and don't pull any punches. And facts.
Typically does.
When you do this is what happens. A real life situation.
That's a hard one because even the gunny sergeant, if he's being honest and just saying, speaking his piece, he's not doing nothing wrong. There's no discipline that can be taken against him.
No, I'm just giving an example about the honesty.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So when you're disciplining a board member, you don't beat around the bush because we're dealing with adults. And you don't solve it, you just give the fact. This is what's happening, and this is you can't do this because when you do this is what happens. You can't do that. But if it's not in policy, there's two kinds of policies, right? District policy and board operating policy. It's two different things. Board operating policy deals only with the board. So you have board operating policies, board operating procedures, right? That pertains only to you. So if it's in the policy and I'm misbehaving as a board member.
Give me an example of misbehaving because
That's
your
what I was-
definition might be different than a lot of our others.
So let's say that I'm trying to think of one where I, as board president, had to take charge.
Okay.
So the board member is going to see the nurse on multiple occasions.
Oh, well, to me, that's a whole different ball game right there.
No, it's not.
Well, it's
It's
right.
the board.
You're not, but
Can the superintendent go to that boardroom and say, don't do that?
yes. Well,
No.
I mean,
The superintendent can advise.
right.
Can advise, but has no direct
Right.
authority to prevent it.
He
So
can.
what I did, I said, I heard
Right.
that so-and-so is going into X school and doing this. Superintendent says, I have not heard that. Let me check before he's doing anything, Joey. Well, principal is going to tattle on the board member?
Well, yeah.
They're going to be.
I mean, yeah.
At first, it's kind of delicate, right? So
These folks.
eventually, it came out, yes, it's true. How many times and what were they doing? Well, Where did I go see the nurse? Why? I don't know. Trying to tell you, I had to gather the facts.
Right.
Because he could easily say, well, it's a friend of the family's. And for that, you had to lock the door.
Well,
So, what I'm saying is, you had to get all the facts together.
right.
But it was my place as board president to say, you can't do that. So it's upon me to discipline. What if the superintendent says, you can't do that. You can't go in there and do this and this and this, even though it was at a school. Because the board member said, how'd you find out? Who told you that? So
It's the first question they're gonna ask. You're right.
that's an example there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
This
that's
isn't
kind
Who told
of
you?
I know it is, you're right. But
I'll
that's
give you
kind of
another. I'll give you another example,
yeah,
and this is even worse.
right. I don't see how one can be that much worse than that one.
There it is.
Don't challenge it.
No, I'm listening. I'm listening.
So the superintendent calls me and says, we're going to spend $600,000 on a math tutoring program at this school because the math scores at this middle school are in the dumps.
Right.
And it was predominantly African American school. I said, why are you telling me it's rude? He said, because you're going to see a big bump in that. It's going to come up. Fine. It needs to be done. It needs to be done. So he called all the board members, and this school was in this board member's district. So the superintendent calls me. He says, can you come in? I said, sure. He says, the board members of his district told me not to do that. He said, you can't tell me that. I said, well, yeah. What are you going to do? He said, I'm going to do it anyway. I said, do it. He said, it's fine. He said, he called me in to tell me this. I said, no. He said, he told me that if I do that, that I'm throwing good money after bad money or something. That you can't make chicken salad out of chicken. I said, he said that. I said, yeah. Remember, this is a primarily
Right.
African American school.
Yeah.
I said, oh, come on. He said, so I said, what'd you say? He said, Mr. So-and-so, it's terrible, but I'm going to do it. You're crazy. So I called that board member, and I said, I understand you said this to the superintendent. I said, you got to be careful in saying things like that. If you say that in public, you'll have the NAACP on your back. So I don't care, I'll say that at the board meeting. I said, what? I said, you say that, and I'm going to call a recess, and then you're on your own. Don't you say that. So that's another example of having discipline.
But I wouldn't have a problem with the
That's a big
superintendent
problem.
saying, hey, Mercedes, don't say that like that. That's
No,
racial.
so the thing is,
Crossing the
here's the
boundary.
thing. The media gets a hold of
Anybody,
it. The media
actually.
gets a hold of that.
Amen.
It's a board member, right? The people read that, it's SAISD board. So, yeah, there's instances of board members in closed session speaking so loud that our police officers call me out and say, we can hear everything.
That's happened before here.
So there's a lot of instances that I could tell you that we could go on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
The point is that it has to be in your board operating procedures as to how you're going to handle that. Because the superintendent called me and told me this is what happened. But the superintendent said, yeah, I wouldn't advise you to say that. But I'm the one that had to tell them, you don't do that. That same, just shows you the mentality. There's a basketball coach, a football coach, 6'7", 200 something, high school coach,
Right.
sitting down about several rows down at a basketball game. And this board member was hollering at a basketball player from his district, just really berating the basketball player. It happened to be the coach's son. So he used a 4-letter word on that kid. And that coach turned around and said, "That's my son." And the board member said, "I don't give a ch-ch-ch." So that coach said, "I would appreciate it if you would stop." I don't know that. The coach showed more restraint, went down to the our police officer and said what that guy was doing. You know what that board member did? He went down to the coach and challenged him to a fight. The board member is 5'4". The coach is 6'7".
Hey, it happened. People, like you said, people are human. We had one of our superintendent was fixing to fight somebody here about a year ago.
But the superintendent's not a board member.
Well, he's still a, he's in charge of the school district.
So I get a call at home about the board member. So off I go. There's the board. No, that was not in the board operations. Don't pick a fight with somebody that's 6'7", 280 pounds. But
That would be
I
stupid.
should have told the police officer, let them fight.
Ricky, don't pick a fight with nobody 6'7".
That's right.
Let them fight.
Who would be that stupid?
Well,
I mean, I
this
don't
guy-
care if I'm a board member or not. I'm not gonna.
So I told him, I said,
Hold up.
were you drunk? This is a true story. And I said, were you drunk? He said, no. He should have told me to shut up. This was all in public.
You're right.
That's because his ego.
Fortunately, the media didn't get a hold of it.
All right.
Check with Ruben, too, on that one, Joe.
He was-
You think I'm making these things up? I'm not.
No.
The point of the whole thing is the board has to self-police. I mean, they're funny situations, but the whole point that I'm belaboring is you have to self-police, right? But it shouldn't have to get
We
to that
kind of
point.
do. I think we do.
You don't have to get to that point. What do you think? What do you think the people at that game thought of a board member?
Incompetence.
You're on the board with this guy.
Shall we see our official fighting every day on TV?
You know what my mother used to tell me? People are going to judge you by the people you hang around with.
So true.
Look at our president of the United States. Look what he just said on Easter Day. There you go.
I bet your parents told you that
Oh, yeah.
all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Howard
You
still
know, too,
acting
right?
up.
No.
People are going to judge you by who you hang around
Right.
with. Tell me who you hang around with, and I'll tell you who you are.
Yeah.
I hang around with Helen. So there you go, Helen. Either you're a
have
good
such
influence or
great
bad
taste.
influence.
And so the point is, that board member, like I told him, people are going to say, I'm on the board with you. I don't want to be on the board with you. Quit. My actual words.
Right? Yeah, it's simple.
Well,
as
kick me
that.
off. I can kick you off.
Yeah.
I don't know the way to do it, but I can't do that.
You can't. Everybody's elected, so
Again, I'm belaboring a point. Only you can do that.
right.
But let's not get to that point. You got your commitments there. Why do we have to get to that point? Besides, if you're going to be on our board and make me look good,
Yeah.
you can't get there by having.
When we were on that board, we had a lot of arguments.
Argument is fine if you respect each other.
It's how you deal with it, and
It's how you say it.
I mean,
disagreement's
Remember the
good.
gunning.
Yeah.
He'd have gotten that good job if he'd have said, well, sir, I've been told that honesty is my weakness. And instead of saying, I don't care what you think. But he didn't say, I don't care what you think. I don't give a what you think.
Gunny should have said, don't start and then there won't be no. That would help.
But you don't have to get to that point. You really don't. I don't agree with what you say, but because. But you don't have to take it personal.
Help me
But
understand.
don't you think the
Ricky.
coach should have handled like
When-
that was
when elephants
a
fight-
grievance that you would handle, or how you would handle a upset parent?
See, you got to do that.
Yeah,
It doesn't work at home.
even if it's a board member.
You ain't wearing that red shirt.
What shirt?
Exactly. Exactly. Good answer.
What shirt? I'm glad you got rid of that shirt. I really am.
Yeah.
Well, let's not mention shirt. If you meet my wife, don't bring it up.
We won't.
You might meet her. She's here with me, by the way.
Oh,
What?
So don't bring it
Don't
up.
say nothing.
Not that I'm scared or anything.
I'm just saying.
You probably would bring it up.
If you piss me off, I would. I sure would.
Thank you.
Yeah,
don't take
I can see your point of view, but
amen.
so here we go. You have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's good. This is good. Now, so what are you going to do about it?
we're gonna have to work on it.
We're going to take some of those bullets just by listening to Jim. He's going to take some of those bullets and add them into
So
ours.
how are you going to do it? What are you going to do about it?
We have a committee that's working diligently on it, and we need to
So are you
get
going to
that.
cooperate or collaborate? Cooperate,
Both.
you're going to form a committee to get this done?
Right.
And then bring it to the whole bunch?
We already have it.
We have a committee, and our last team of 8 was focused on board operating procedures. But we've been a very busy board. But my question to you, Julian, going by what we talked about just now, we have some that we're already working on that are very important to the board right this moment. But if you were to look at this list of the things that are not included in our board operating procedures, which one would you, or which one or two would you recommend that our committee focus on first?
Discussion, debate.
Our committee, do y'all have that?
That's
What did
one.
she say?
You said which one?
Which ones would we prioritize? And he said participation, discussion, debate. and
That's
voting.
one.
Here's the thing, because if you don't get that settled, what good are the other ones?
The fifth bullet down.
If you can't agree to agree, what good are the other ones?
I would agree, but I'd also say, for me, the way I regulate myself and when I get passionate about something is I have to model the behavior that we want to
That's
see our teachers and our students
Right.
have. How can we hold them accountable to something we're not doing ourselves?
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
So that's what I'm talking about. Because when you discuss and debate, you're doing it where? In public.
In public.
Right.
Sometimes in private. You said they could hear from the executive
But in
session.
discussion and debate, you're doing it in public. That's the
Right.
only time you do it.
Right.
Is in a public meeting. So that's when the teachers see you and the community sees you.
Right.
So if you don't get that set, what good are the other ones? If you cannot, if the people don't see you, that's why I put on there standards of professional practice. If they don't see you as professionals and getting along with each other, well, how can you put the other items together? Which one would you pick?
I would agree with that. That was my number one, but I just wanted to hear it from you to see if I was on the right track.
Yeah, because other ones say, well, I think other places, that are not, but they say, well, concerns and complaints. Well,
Everything else kind of falls
How do
into.
you do that
Right.
if you can't get along? Well, how can you start working? If you cannot collaborate, how can you put the other stuff together? So that's the one you got to get with, in my opinion.
I'm going to call number 9.
Just so you know, our committee is Ricky, Tiffany, and Helen. Tiffany, I believe you're chairing that committee. Everyone kind of try chair
How many
it.
is that?
3, so they don't have to. So it's not a quorum. So we have 3 people.
But
on it.
anybody's welcome.
Well,
We could switch out if they say we'll switch out. Like if someone wants to come and then may not come, or Mr. Clem may not go that night, then that way we won't have a quorum. So we can handle it that way if someone asks to attend.
Well,
Right.
that's good. You asked me, and at least that's what I started with.
That's how we talked.
So I will ask the committee if y'all can focus on that one next.
And by the way, these are
It's been
not
discussed too.
in priority order, by
It's
the way.
been discussed.
Yeah.
Right.
They're not in priority order.
Right. Right.
That's a big one.
It's a big one.
Yeah, it's been looked at.
And I personally think that one would help us get over the hump of how we deal with disagreement.
Remember
Yeah.
what we started off with? The 2 items, our board members get along with each other, and the groups. Those tie into that.
Right.
And why did I put that at the very beginning? Because if those were not issues, I could be at home.
You wouldn't have a job.
I wouldn't have a job. I'd be smoking a cigar on the beach.
That's no
With
good.
my
The
grandkids.
beach is okay.
Cigars, too.
I don't smoke.
Okay, let's
Cognac
get to
be good,
blinkers
too.
are not an excuse, because I want to know what that means.
Blinkers?
Which
Where's
one?
that one?
I read ahead.
Oh, did you?
I can't wait to, I want.
Blinkers or not?
I want to know what that is.
Blinkers or not.
That's your page 3.
Diana Kim put that in there. She's I don't do anything. Diana Kim does all this. And I said, Diana, what is that? She said, that's governance or management. I said, what? She said, you told me to be creative. I said, I did. She said, I gotta go. I said, well, wait a minute. She said, you figure it out. Okay.
So you're going to leave me hanging.
Well, no, that's not the way it goes. We'll get back to you on that.
Well, that's a good one. I'll get back to you.
Okay, I can accept that.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, man. You had to bring that up, right?
Sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Are you good? No, that was a good thing you brought it up.
Who said it was a good thing?
I did.
Okay, since you brought it up. Blinkers are not an excuse. So I go to Joe. And I said, Dr. Rodriguez, I've been hearing a lot of complaints, about 3 principals in my district. A lot of complaints. Especially one principal, and I think it would be good for the students there and for you to move that principal as soon as possible. People are calling me every day, and I really think you ought to move that principal as soon as possible. Is that governance or management decision?
Management.
Oh, wait a minute. Think about it. I've got a lot of calls.
Governance. Let me see.
A lot of calls.
Yeah, I have to go back to some management. You got to manage
Well,
the situation.
It could be both of them, because you have to look at it from the standpoint of what you plan on doing, and then management takes
Hey,
over.
Campese, take it easy. You're riding the fence.
No, I'm just saying that governance and what you're trying to do with it, but then in the end, management is going to take over and make the decision. Now, that's just me. You know.
I still think it's
Governance is big picture, policies.
Yeah.
Management is more individual case by case like this is? where-
Yes,
Issue
Mr.
by
Superintendent,
issue.
but what about my constituents that keep on calling me? What am I gonna tell them?
To call the superintendent.
Call Dr. Rodriguez.
I'm sorry?
He got all the answers.
You could advise the superintendent to look into the matter. That would be governance. Yeah.
Well, there's a chain of command in what to do, and there are district policies that apply to that. If someone's come to us and complaining about a principal or assistant
I'm getting
principal,
calls every day.
I
But
would
the
refer
kids are
them to
getting
the
hurt.
policy and what that is.
Stop answering the phone. Block that number.
Got my blinkers on.
Oh, blinders.
Blinders.
Or,
Is that
or address it.
I thought the blinker was the signal in the car.
And you turn over anyway?
Yeah.
Cut them off anyway?
Thank you for calling, but
Oh,
this concern is being addressed.
it's staying in your lane. Blinkers are not
Blinkers, yeah.
excuse. Okay. Right?
Yeah.
No?
I guess that's a good thought about it, but I'm not sure.
That
That's
new,
what- let's go with
that
that.
new
Okay, so
system
that-
they have
that's-
that pushes
that's
you
it.
back over in.
The situation does not give you a reason to veer off and get out of your lane.
So I go back and tell the people, don't call me?
No.
What I do is refer to policy and procedure, and
Should I go to the school and
Here's
see
what-
if it's true?
Let me be your consultant. I'm going to tell you what to do.
Okay.
Go. This situation is under investigation, so I'm not allowed to speak on it, but trust me, it's being taken care of. And
I'm
I'll-
the parent.
You're the parent?
I'm the one calling you. Wait a minute, I'm confused.
Yeah. Right.
It's being-
In most
being
of our
taken-
districts, we could say, you didn't even.
We
vote.
just made matters worse because of some of the investigations, why is no action being taken?
Well, because you can't take no action unless you know it's a fact. That's what I would tell you.
So, is it
I mean, just
managed-
because
is it
I got closed the
management or
door
is it-
don't mean that
is it
you're doing
governance?
something.
Well,
I would say it's management, but governance takes a hit on it.
Moving a principal is management.
Right.
So it's his decision.
Yeah. That's his
If I
job.
don't like it, I tell him, do better next time.
Okay,
Try again next week.
it's too late. My niece already quit.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, we have, you're going to have those people that quit.
Okay. So is this
resign,
management or governance? Jim, I'd like to put on the agenda that for the new school, that we name it after someone that is not living instead of living. Is that governance or management?
That's,
If we have two
That's for
board
the whole
members
board.
if we have two board members that say we want it on the agenda, that is governance, and we put it on the agenda because that is in our
Even
board
if it has to
operating.
do with the school.
it's in our policy.
Yep.
We have board policy on how to name a school.
Right.
And that, what you just said follows our policy.
And the agenda policy.
Right. So it overlaps.
Yeah.
That's not good.
What did he say?
It's no good. Well, it may not be, but
It
that's
may
our
not be,
policy.
but that's our, that's right.
If Richard and I decide, hey, put this on the agenda, there you go.
But the process of naming schools is management. There should be a process in place. As far as forming a committee, getting names and doing all that, the actual approval is governance.
Right.
The final approval is governance, but the actual process to get to a final
To
name,
get to.
that's going to be management.
Right. Okay,
As long as you follow the policy.
Correct.
Dr. Rodriguez, I think
Right.
we're spending,
Yeah.
Dr. Rodriguez, I think we're spending too much money to build our new schools. What is this cost per square foot? And how does this compare with our neighboring schools? Is that governance or management?
Governance, it's telling him to look into something. It's not telling him to do something.
Who's asking? Trustees?
Yeah, this a trustee.
A trustee
It's a
or
board member.
board member. That's,
Well, that's different.
that's our fiduciary responsibility.
Right.
And you should already know the questions to that because you voted to approve the expenditure.
Or didn't.
whether you voted for or
No, I
against,
said,
you know.
or didn't, you know the
What you
information.
know is there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm agreeing with you.
The information was already in your face
Right.
before you voted on it.
Right, I'm agreeing with you. Again.
As a board trustee, I show up to a school and I tell the principal, I'd like for you to call a faculty meeting. I want to talk about the bond issue.
Now, that one is covered in our board operating procedures, that we
yes.
are good to visit campuses, however, we are not there in a supervisory position.
So what are you going to tell them?
We're not supposed to do anything on that. I mean,
Exactly. You should
that's,
know that before you.
that's prohibited by our board operating
So the
procedures.
principal would say, I'm sorry, we can't call a board, faculty meeting.
Of course.
Not if he's following our policy.
Board policy says, well, I would call superintendent if I was a principal and say,
Do the principals know that? That actually happened.
They have enough stinking meetings, they ought to.
That actually happened.
Oh, I believe
I
it.
believe it.
And the principal was,
What do I
Yeah.
do?
Well, of course.
I can understand that happening.
Yeah.
I can see that happening.
another thing that happened with me, I was invited to, when they were observing Columbus Day, years ago when I was on the board. And this teacher had a beautiful display of Columbus. I mean, it was beautiful. And I made a big deal, I mean, really, because it was like second graders, I don't know.
Right.
But they went overboard, man. I mean, it was just fantastic. Take the little ships, the kids had strings and they were moving, you know. And they even have food of what they ate. They brought Fritos because that was corn.
I like that.
And I had to eat that
That's
stuff.
state competition stuff right
But
there.
it was really neat. So Joe, I made such a big deal about that. So then in the spring they called me back for I don't know what holiday. So I toured again with the principal of the classroom, and that Columbus exhibit was still there. So I told the principal, "Why is that Columbus exhibit?" She said, "You made such a big damn deal over that thing."
They didn't want to take it down.
They didn't want to take it
You
down.
gotta be. Oh well, I told her. She said, "Man, Roger, it's not Columbus Day." She said, "Well, you know, it made such a big deal." Then, okay. So. Let's see one that's crazy. During a regular board meeting, one of the board members raises the hand and says, "Dr. Rodriguez, I'm very concerned about the bus safety in the district. I'm hearing stories about reckless driving and buses not being adequately maintained." That's what I hear. I want to know what your perception is and what your plans are for dealing with this.
It's funny that he brought this up with all the wrecks we've been having in the district. I mean, we had a couple. I mean, here
Is
we
it on
go.
the agenda? Is that a discussion item on the agenda?
No.
It can be on future discussions. Can we have this?
Well, that might be the answer.
Right, right. And we can take this up at the next meeting on a future.
I would gather information and provide whatever information I could to the trustees leading up to it being an agenda item for the next board meeting.
Yeah.
This is one of the surprises.
Yeah.
So I told that board member, "Sonia, well, why didn't you bring that up privately?" You know, it's both, right? It's governance and management, but it's a surprise at the board table. Sure. Sure, that goes along with, are you entitled to get information from the school district?
In most cases, yes.
Yes. Do you have it in your board operating procedures?
Yes.
The process for that?
Yes.
Let me tell you something. At one time, I was an associate superintendent, and dispel the myth. People in the central office are not there like this. God, I hope a board member calls and asks for information. Really.
No, they can see me doing that. I don't even get disillusioned by that.
I hope. You know, I haven't had a call in the last 10 minutes.
Maybe no anger.
From Dr. Lolia saying, a board member to the individual wants information on this. God, I hope they call. Because the last one took me 18 hours, aside from the job I have to do.
Oh, my goodness.
God, I hope somebody calls. Oh my God, that would make my day. And why not? I wouldn't have to come in on Saturday and Sunday. Because they want it by Monday and today is Friday. They really don't. They don't. I may be wrong, Joe. But your staff may be different.
Is he wrong?
But we didn't sit around and, hey, David, how many calls did you get from a board member today? 19. I got your B. I got 22. So,
Me.
I don't think they want to hear.
No, well, we have some people in citizens that do a lot of.
citizens too. So the state finally put some gatekeepers on that and guidelines for that. But, you know, I'm making fun of that, but man, that can be a bear for that.
Well, that's why we're laughing.
Records request.
Because we know.
The superintendents put, I mean, when I worked for Victor Rodriguez, man, that guy put his stuff on me, man. But it's a lot. When a board member asks, you don't want to turn in something to a board member and, you know, that's not right. You check and double check and double check. I used to turn it into another associate and another associate. So more eyes on it, right? You don't want. So, yeah, we didn't sit around with. God, I hope Jim calls for some reports. He hasn't called in what, 2 hours. So, yeah, that should. You have that in there. Board operating procedure.
Yeah, it's there.
I'll make
Thursday on page
but
2.
That can be a.
But that's one of our oldest ones that we really should just update. Because anyone that opens the page, the first one was revised on 2004, and that just reflects on the board as a whole.
Okay, so what about this? I call the superintendent and I say, I'd like for you to start working on a proposal or outline for teacher incentive pay and have it ready for the next board meeting. Management?
Very much. Yep. We've actually did that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You guys are no fun. You see, you guys are there.
We're almost all the way there.
No excuse not to be an honor board.
Exactly.
I would agree with that. We have to challenge ourselves to be that honor board.
Here it is. What's the name of that
That's a lot
book
of
by Peters?
Be on the board. That's too much work. It wore me out trying to get ready for that.
What's the name of that book?
Goodness.
He wanted, and he has on there BHAG. You know what a BHAG is?
Oh, hold on.
A BHAG?
I've heard this before.
Big, hairy, audacious goal. That's what you need to do.
I got to write that one down. BHAG.
Tom Peters,
I'll call him something.
Good to Great. The book, Good to Great. It's an old book.
Oh, that's to get on the bus.
Yeah.
Get the right player,
Big-
the right person in the right
BHAG,
seat.
big,
Yeah.
hairy, audacious goal.
Yep. Yep.
And your big, hairy, audacious goal is to be award-winning board. You got a lot of stuff here. Look at you.
Jesse and I didn't change it that much.
You don't do it because you don't want to. The board was on went from being the most politicized to being nationally recognized. I mean,
How about that? That's pretty
how hard is
awesome.
that? It's not.
Oh, it's pretty hard to get up
I
there.
told you how.
There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of school districts.
That's good.
When we went to that, I remember that. That was like,
Competition is good.
But y'all did it.
and then a little school district beat us out. What? I was like,
Yeah.
remember that?
Hardly ever a big district win.
Yeah.
I was shocked when Galena Park got it last year.
Okay. You know, I gotta be out of here
Yeah.
by 11. So,
Yeah.
what's the plan?
I'm off. 11's good.
11 is good, right? Okay, here we go.
You see how they looked at me? We need to put that in the board operating procedures. Don't be looking like that.
When I was a principal,
Please tell them off for
I was a middle school principal for 2 years. The second year, I went and told the superintendent, I don't care what you put me. I don't care what you do with me. I'm not going back to middle school principal. I don't care what you do with me. Send me to war. I don't care what. But I'm not going back to being middle school.
I wouldn't work in the middle school.
I had a kid that came and said,
Okay, Gunny.
this kid, yeah, this kid came, this girl was looking at me bad. I said, what? Looking at me bad, whatever that means.
Right? Looking at me bad.
Be happy she's looking at you.
Okay, so we've got
Not
less
trying to
than
hit
5
you in the
minutes.
face.
Less than 5 minutes. Here are the top 10 things that a board can do. We start with the top, and the number 1 is at the bottom.
Thank you, sir.
This time is up.
Yeah. Then I'm thinking I get it.
You said 1, 3.
Do it like that. Pay your superintendent fair wage.
There you go, sir.
For the-
Man, you brought up one right here, Gunny Trevino, that I don't know if we did this one.
I don't have the personality for a gunny.
Sure you do. You never know that until you're out in the live fire. You'll turn into, you heard of Benavides? He wasn't like that, but he became.
All
Okay,
right, let's keep it going.
let's start right here.
Yes.
Start with number 10.
Pay your superintendent a fair wage.
Yeah, we've got to define fair.
We
Number,
did
the
that.
next one?
Provide the resources for an adequate quantity and quality of senior staff.
Provide clear direction to your superintendent, speak with one voice, and maintain a stable board.
Link your superintendent's performance evaluation to district performance.
Provide honest, constructive feedback privately and with great sensitivity.
Never say anything negative about your superintendent in public or even to trusted friends.
I could tell.
Govern by policy and make certain your superintendent is always directly involved in the policy development process.
No surprises at the board table.
Stay out of management. Exclamation.
Yes.
Drum roll.
Do everything in your power to make your superintendent successful.
Here, here.
Oh, right.
That was right on time for you. He
Now,
was debating.
these are the top 10 that a superintendent can do.
Oh,
Switch the role.
Here we go. They're coming to you.
Are we going to discuss these? Or?
No.
Okay.
I would have to come back.
that's the cliffhanger.
Can we give you one war story though on one of these?
Sure. But let's give the superintendent.
No. Okay, let's do this.
Yeah, let's.
I'm just.
Did you use a superintendent?
Once in a while, I did. Yeah.
Y'all ask me later, I'll tell you what he just said.
I'm glad you found that funny.
Do you know what the IQ of a Marine is? The actual 180.
It was funny, Mercedes. No,
Was it?
it was pretty funny.
IQ of the Marine is 180. Platoon. You know how many's in a platoon? Okay. Top 10 things the superintendent could do. Start with number 10.
Give board members lots of opportunity to receive favorable press.
Never argue with or show disrespect toward a board member in public.
Share all written communications to or from individual board members with all board members.
On important issues, make certain you have the votes before you make a recommendation.
That's a tough one.
There it is.
Ensure the board develops a charter for each standing committee of the board.
Okay, that's also very, very important. I'm going to be upfront with you. I am not a fan of committees. However, if they work for you, fine. I believe in a policy committee and a finance committee. But if the committees work for you, that's great.
We haven't either.
What are we on?
Go ahead and use
Always
my
interpret a
proof.
vote against one of your recommendations as a vote on principle.
That's right. If you vote against something that I was proposing and you vote against it, I understand, different point of view, fine, we'll move forward and I'll support it after.
Make certain the board receives effective training.
Resolve constituent complaints quickly so board members don't have an excuse to meddle.
Cultivate business and civic community leaders.
Drum roll.
Communicate.
Yeah.
All right.
Collaboration.
So we're going to take a break until next time.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.
If there's anything here that you would like to clarify, Naomi knows how to get a hold of me.
Okay.
She has my number. Feel free to call me. I may not hear it because of the waves on the beach, but I'll move over.
Through the
And
smoke of the
smoking that cigar.
Yes, just on the beach. So
I'm drinking
I
a
don't
cognac.
do cigars.
I enjoyed meeting you, and hopefully we'll cross paths again. So really seriously, if you have any question, I can answer and help you with anything. Give me a call. I'd like to talk to you again.
Thank you.
So invite me when you get your board recognition. I'd like to be there. I'm going to be looking for it.
Give you credit.
Thank you on behalf of the board, Dr. Trevino, for coming out.
Say again?
Thank you on behalf of
It's
the
my
board.
pleasure.
Oh, you want to hear it twice? 3 times. On behalf of the board, thank you for coming out, spending the evening training us tonight. It was insightful. Hopefully, we all picked up a few carrots that we'll take
Remember
back.
what, on that first sheet I gave you, the very
sir.
first 2 sentences?
I wrote a lot of notes.
Our school dude just shut us down.
So you're going into closed session, which means don't talk loud.
Correct. Before we go into closed session, Dr. Rodriguez, is there anything you'd want to add to the training?
No, sir, not at this time.
All right, thank you for that. So that will conclude, where's my agenda at? I thought I had it all here. We'll now move on to item number 3 of the agenda, closed meeting. The board will now recess in the closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.074. No action will be taken while the board is in closed session. The time is 9 o'clock on the dot, p.m.
Good timing, Speaker.
Okay, the board will now reconvene into open session. The time is now 10:24 p.m. No action was taken while the board was in closed session. Having no further business before the board, this meeting is adjourned. The time is 10:24 p.m.